Hello, we are Paola, Jimena, Carlos, and Max. And the case scenario we chose is that the pace of the contemporary era goes dynamically fast and it doesn't allow us the opportunity to pause to contemplate and reflect on our everyday decisions, challenges we overcome, past mistakes, etc. We fill up our everyday lives with the company of friends, social media, events, attending school, being in a relationships, etc. So, as a consequence, humans develop a tendency to find um, discomfort in solitude as a coping mechanism and develop a dependence on company and distractions to avoid the feeling of loneliness.
We are going to be discussing if the worst vice of the contemporary era is the need to feel accompanied, or considering whether the greatest virtue of the modern era is never having to feel alone. From a philosophical standpoint, we can analyze different perspectives on introspection, the development of the human journey, the sense of self, the relation between thoughts and emotions, and
Our position in this topic is that we are in favor of having a moment where a person can think and have time with themselves, since excess of company, not only in the matter of company with other people, but also people cannot have a moment without doing things, like listening to podcasts, watching TV, among other things. We consider that it is a good and necessary for people to have someone to be with and things to do. However, not being able to be without that generates emotional problems such as emotional dependence, or it also can generate feelings such as anxiety or extreme stress.
Our position stipulates that people should spend time alone because it is healthy and help us in different areas of our lives. It can help us relax, making our mental state stable, and analyze situations that can be presented in life in a better way, since it allows us to think more clearly. Socrates once said, "To find yourself, think for yourself." This phrase reflects on our position, since as mentioned before, people must give themselves the opportunity to think and have the time to do so. Otherwise, there may be serious consequences which can manifest in a long or short term in mental health.
And in the contrary, our position on the topic is that, well, we are against the idea that it is entirely impossible to have a moment with yourself without any company or distraction. And the principal idea for us to appeal to the thesis previously stated is that you don't need to be entirely alone or with any distraction for having a moment with yourself. And our position states that you can have this time without being in a total focus of your existence and doing a life analysis as a reflection. And some mediums like cell phones and also friends, mates, etc., can help you to have these moments and keep focused on what is like a bigger priority on your interests, which can be school, work, your family, etc.
So, talking about the other aspect, about the feeling of being accompanied or be accompanied, we are totally in favor that you can have a time for you being with others, and that inclusivity is necessary for our personality and identity creation. Humans are social beings, and basically speaking about emotional dependence, it is not always a fact that you can create a psychological problem for fulfilling of the necessity of being social being as a species. As Martin Heidegger says, only in a collective can a man find his essential being as a social being and discover the nature of his existence. This supports our idea of the formation of identity and personality being social beings. And also for us as a species, we need to be productive and we need to be in always a touch with our reality and activities involved in the society, as social media or news or any other aspect that can relate in our environment and can possibly affect our way of living. As John Locke said, action is no less necessary than thought to the instinctive tendencies of the human frame. So this philosophical phrase gives us a better understanding of how important is our instinctive tendencies to do anything as human beings, to be able to discover our life's importance and how we can reflect on the reality in which we live.
And so by like our first position, we will give like our first argument against the established thesis. So we think that by spending a lot of time with yourself, overthinking may be present, and as a result, it can like you can be in a state of analysis paralysis, which can result in impeding decision-making processes. This can also extend into personal relationships, dwelling on past conversations or situations, and also like that necessity to anticipate like future interactions. And with these aspects taken into account, overthinking may result in indecision, missing opportunities, and putting in doubt like the individual's ability to solve problems effectively.
Yes, but on the other hand, it was said once by Aristotle that it is during our darkest moments that we most focus on finding the light. People need to be able to have the opportunity to think about what they are doing, about having time to resolve what the conflicts they have in their own life, to give themselves the opportunity to self-reflection. And yes, it is difficult for people to be alone since they confuse the aspect of having alone time with loneliness, as it is a very different concept, loneliness and being alone. It can make them feel depressed, among other negative emotions that can develop. However, by not having time for oneself, some of the consequences that can be generated are that people tend to get irritated and lose their temper in a way that is too simple. Likewise, the level of stress that a person has is not reduced, but on the contrary, it can rise by not giving themselves the opportunity to have this time by themselves to think about what they are doing.
So like counter-argumenting like your argument, like if you think it while unplugging from distractions is advocated for mental health, like for example smartphones when utilized mindfully can also contribute positively to emotional well-being. Examples can be social media platforms, messaging apps, and online communities offer avenues for emotional support, connecting individuals with shared interests and providing a sense of belonging. Also, virtual spaces can serve as platforms for expressions, like enabling people to share their thoughts or feelings and experiences, fostering empathy and understanding within communities. Furthermore, the accessibility of mental health resources through smartphone applications can be really good in promoting emotional well-being. From meditation apps to mood tracking tools, this technology offer convenient and personalized means for individuals to manage stress, anxiety, and other emotional challenges.
But in the other hand, by giving the ability to have such a great effect or power on the way we reflect about our life and our decisions to an application or a person, dependency is generated, which doesn't allow people to develop in the correct way. While giving that power to someone or something can lead to the loss of sense of being able to make decisions for oneself, and this will be based on someone or something that people may not like. For this reason, it is important that people have the opportunity to reflect on their own decisions for themselves, taking time to do so.
Yeah, I think I'm speaking also for my teammate that while taking a moment for self-reflection is pretty valuable. An exclusive focus on individual contemplation, human connections, thrive on the exchange of ideas, emotions, and also shared experiences. And by intentionally disconnecting, sorry, from like that external stimuli, individuals may risk missing out on the richness of the diverse perspectives and the exchange of thoughts of ideas that often occur in social interactions, and also moreover constant solitary introspection may lead to a self-imposed bubble, so that strikes a balance between moments of I don't know, maybe like reaching that balance of being like by yourself and also engage with others, may be like a very good way to establish strong social connections, and also like introduce you and dive deep in the complexities of the human interactions.
But acknowledging the importance of self-connections and engagement with others, it is important to recognize the self-introspection. It can help individuals develop a deeper understanding of themselves, their emotions, their aspirations, their goals, and get in touch with their thoughts in a deeper way without external influence. From a philosophical perspective, embracing alone time can lead to self-discovery and comfort their thoughts instead of avoiding them with distractions and dependency on people or daily life activities. Having meaningful time with others is important, but self-reflection and introspection is essential to developing a scene of clarity and finding enjoyment alone.
But like if you analyze it, like moments of introspections are valuable. A perpetual focus on thinking alone can lead to a state where ideas remain conceptual and opportunities are left unexplored. So like action is the catalyst for learning, adaptation, and tangible progress. Experiences gained through taking concrete steps, making decisions, and learning from the outcomes contribute significantly to personal development. And so in dynamic environments, adaptability and responsiveness are highly prized qualities. Individuals who prioritize actions are more likely to manage certain circumstances effectively. The emphasis on action encourages individuals to step out of their comfort zones with any challenge or like different practices and experiences. So yeah.
Although company and developing experiences is significant to personal development, which yes, it is a fundamental human need to have constant personal connections and interactions, individuals can develop a constant need for social companionship, leading them to become habituated to the presence of others or a constant distractor. When there is an abrupt absence of this constant stimulation, there might be a feeling of disconnection and dependency, leading to a feeling of emptiness. And it is this absence of external validation and distraction that can lead to negative impact on the mental health and emotional well-being. Philosophically, the need for external sources of validation and distractions to avoid self-reflection can interfere with self-identity, self-discovery, and the purpose of life, which can make your life completely dependent on external fulfillment. And it was said by Plato that the time you feel lonely is the time you most need to be by yourself.
We can agree that company is fundamental in the lives of human beings. However, people must take the time to be alone with themselves, think about their actions, allowing to have self-reflection that helps them to improve their independence over the things they do. Also, it helps them to make people manage their emotions and their mood more easily, and it changed the way they relate to the environment and people, giving themselves a better quality of life.
Well, and we can be in an agreement about what you just said. I think me and my teammate, we can say that, yeah. Also, you can have some time like by yourself to think, to feel whatever it's like more deep in your head. And yeah, I think we got to a very nice conclusion. So thank you for being here. And yeah, that's all.